God is good. God is good. I'm just jumping out the pool, and I read this crap up in the newspaper talking about Senator Louise Lucas is getting unfairly targeted. Oh my God, cut the crap. Talking about she's black this, black that. Everybody's targeting her over her race. The fact is, Merle Rutledge is about to give you a race-neutral answer that nobody's going to dispute. Senator Louise Lucas sold out her district to include Portsmouth for Governor McAuliffe and Governor Northam's BS. She didn't give a damn about black people or Black Lives Matter or any of that crap. Now, the fact is, all of those who was arrested with Senator Louise Lucas, see, there's a difference between Senator Louise Lucas and the rest of y'all. And I'm going to tell you why, so you can figure it out, and you're going to say Merle Rutledge is right, and the rest of the people who went out there to make sure this recall happened is doing exactly what America and Virginia needs, showing leadership. First off, whether y'all got the charges dismissed or not, Senator Louise Lucas is going to be fine. But to the 14 of y'all or 19 of y'all, whoever y'all was out there, just because the judge dismissed it, I guarantee you, when they pull up a criminal background check, when y'all go for a job or anything like that, it's going to show up that exact arrest. And you're going to say, I thought it was dismissed. Oh my God. The fact is, people, the merits of the case wasn't disposed of. And what that means is basically you never was held on trial for the charges. That means those charges could come back any time frame that some Portsmouth Commonwealth attorney or somebody in Virginia decides to grow some balls and go ahead and refile the charges. Y'all not off the hook. But guess what? Senator Louise Lucas is going to be fine. She used y'all to destroy a statue and do all this other stuff and get arrested. Now, the dumb thing about this is it was going to be voted by the city council for it to be removed anyway. So you did all of this to destroy your lives over a cause that Senator Louise Lucas wanted to get accomplished for political points to get McAuliffe elected. It had nothing to do with black rights, white rights, Hispanic rights, or none of that. Now, mind you, Senator Louise Lucas didn't back none of the black Democratic gubernatorial candidates. Think about it. Why didn't she do it? Because she felt black people wasn't adequate or responsible or qualified enough to run the Commonwealth of Virginia. She was talking about everybody, but guess what? She found time for McAuliffe to make sure it make it happen. And guess why? Because she was getting that dollar bill, y'all. And the reason why I'm saying it that way, because maybe I got to say it in a different type of way. When you are an elected official that's corrupt, you're no longer working for the people. You are working for yourself and lining up your pockets when you have became exactly what Senator Louise Lucas has became. She goes out there, stages events, get a bunch of people in trouble, and she walks off and ends up getting another paycheck for getting McAuliffe some extra attention. You notice McAuliffe was all around the stage whenever that crap happened and trying to say how Senator Louise Lucas was being done wrong and all this other crap. Let's be honest, people. If you vandalize a car, vandalize a statue, or destroy anybody's personal property or city property or whatever, you are supposed to get charged with being responsible and being held accountable for your actions. But guess what? Senator Louise Lucas is going to be okay. I'm just trying to tell you that. Because guess what? She has a law that protects them. It doesn't protect the community. See, in order for Senator Louise Lucas to be prosecuted, it got to either go through Governor Northam or Attorney General Mark Herring to sign off on in an election year and about to have to deal with the fact that Brexit, more and more people from all walks of life are exiting the Democratic Party because they're tired of the bullshit and coming over to the Republican Party. The fact is, they are scared to lose any more support. They already lost the police. You got McAuliffe saying one-liners, and you got Senator Louise Lucas all up in the newspaper for being on the wrong side of the law. And guess what? She's going to say she's pro-black, pro-this, pro-that, and all this other stuff. Now, to correct y'all on that part, haven't y'all had a whole bunch of issues happen down there, and you haven't seen Senator Louise Lucas jump up the way she did down there at that statue, have you? The reason is because it was politically beneficial to her. And she is going to sacrifice anybody who's dumb enough and ignorant enough to go along with her. Now, what we are all saying is you have to have the proper process and the proper permission to destroy anything that belongs to somebody else, regardless if it's city property or your property itself. This is the way to make sure that when something happens, you can hold people accountable so you can get some kind of relief, whether it's somebody paying back whatever they broke. It's just like somebody smashing your car windows. You want somebody to pay for your windows. Now I have to call your insurance company and I say, hey, raise up my rates over the fact that somebody can't be held accountable. The fact is, people, you got to stop worrying about why somebody being recalled. Look at the fact of what happened for it to come to this. This was people coming together for a common goal to make sure the elected official was held accountable just like anybody else out there. That's what it's all about. See, people feel like, okay, I should get some special protection because I'm black or white or whatever. There shouldn't be this special anything. All of them need to be held accountable to the highest extent of the law. And by being a public official and doing what she did out there in Portsmouth, the fact is she destroyed a lot of people's dreams, even for their kids, to say that these leaders would be responsible and make sure that our kids know how to act in the future and show the leadership that they need. You cannot tell me she did not fail in leadership here. We have parents of different races all over the place. We do not want our kids to respond the way that Senator Louise tried to have those kids and adults respond. The reason is because we believe you do not break or you do not destroy somebody else's property that doesn't belong to you. That's the whole point here. And I can say from the small crowd that was down there doing the right thing, having the parade, doing the pizza parties and all that stuff, the fact is, you will get remembered for the worst in society, for being a troublemaker, for being a criminal. And the thing is, it doesn't matter whether the charge is dismissed unless you have it expunged, it's still up there. But the fact is, anybody could Google any one of your names and see you on the wrong side of the law. When they Google up Senator Louise Lucas, they're like, oh, she's okay because she can't be held accountable by the same law. Do you think that's fair? The point is, it's not fair. But the fact is, we cannot have leaders feel like they are above the law and they cannot be held accountable. Because just like we are holding Senator Louise Lucas accountable, you in the community want to make sure you hold others in public office accountable too. The fact is, they made a law that shielded all of these public officials from prosecution unless they are possibly on the wrong side of the aisle. Democrats is going to protect Democrats, and Republicans is going to hold Republicans accountable. But the problem is, why should we hold ourselves accountable if we can't hold the other side? All this confusion, all this crap about covering up bullshit over somebody's race has to end. Over the fact that somebody's political position gives them cover has to end. The fact is, Senator Louise Lucas deserves to be recalled. She is no longer qualified. She no longer has the mental fitness to be a representative here in Virginia that represents not only us as citizens, but them in Richmond as lawmakers. There should have been no acceptance of this type of action or conduct. It wouldn't have been accepted before. Let Senator Louise Lucas be a young child and say, hey, I'm mad about how things is running in my parents' household, and let her destroy some things. Let's see how her parents back in the day would have handled it. She knows better. The fact is, you either want society to go completely out of control, and that's what's happening right now with the defund the police and all of that. Right now, crime is skyrocketing all over the place. The weird thing is, when y'all want the police called, they are not going to be able to get to you, and they may have to send a social worker, because right now, the police and those who enforce the law can't even get the system, get their prosecutors and more, and their local officials that have oversight to make sure that they have their back. The fact is, they call the police whenever protesters go to their house to protect them. They call the police. These same politicians that telling you to defund the police because it sounds like it's great for propaganda, it's not great for reality. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is needed more in this time than Senator Louise Lucas and what she represents. The fact is, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted all people, regardless of your race or background or who you are. He wanted us to come together because it made for a better America. When he walked, arms linked with black, white, Puerto Rican, every single race out there in America. He wasn't saying, I just want black people to do better. He was saying we all need to do better. He talked about this and died for this, and he lived on his feet and did not live on his knees. Senator Louise Lucas did the most destructive thing for our children's future by saying you should not be held accountable for your actions based off of your race compared to the content of your character and the totality of the circumstances that come from your actions. I want our youth and all of those here in America to be rewarded for good, but we need to be held accountable for bad or promoting it. I may have my views on a bunch of things, but I don't try to make emotional decisions. I try to look at what's in the best interest of America and our families, regardless of your background or your race. At this time period, America is falling ill to the demons that are out there being called lawmakers when they are really being called Marxists. And the fact is, they don't care about you as a person. You want to see that? Go and look at the homeless shelters. You're saying most of these places, and I'm going to use a race statistic here, and there's a reason behind this, because people need to understand just because somebody looks like you, acts like you, or talks like you, doesn't mean they represent you. You could go down to downtown Norfolk. There's a tent city with over 80% black people, homeless, that used to have a roof over their head, and they got tossed out on the street because of the pandemic. A lot of y'all are getting calls from these same families asking for a place to stay or asking for some kind of assistance because Virginia has been ran into the ground for far too long, to the point we are the worst in making sure we protect our citizens. But we have made time to pay for those who are not even in our country legally, nor do they pay taxes, but you have been paying taxes for the longest kind of time. But they look at you as second-class citizens while they look at illegals as first-class citizens. Regardless of how you feel about the Republican Party or conservatives, we are America and Virginia first. When we see that stuff like that, and guess what? We don't see all of those groups that was destroying cities and burning down buildings and bridges and hurting police officers and hurting innocent people, like BLM, 757, the rest of them, and Antifa groups. They're not down there, but they're the first ones posting BLM and all of this crap. But they have families and babies down there living in a tent and ain't doing nothing about it nor speaking about it. But they'll be the first ones to be around when somebody black gets killed by a police officer, whether justified or not. But they will say, hey, it's a great chance to promote Black Lives Matter, while right down the street there are black lives that have been destroyed by the very people that they are protecting. And that is those Democrats that is living under a Marxist agenda. I'm sick of us not waking up to this crap and saying enough is enough. See, leadership is in crisis, and it's broken down by every part of the heart and soul that lives in these weak cowards. I could care less what political party that you're on. When I'm reading about people starving and those who are homeless that used to work a good job, used to be able to have pride in having their families go on at least one vacation or to at least one amusement park, they can't even afford to even be in the tent that they are even staying in. And you're telling me, Senator Louise Lucas, it should be the number one priority of protecting when she ain't even protecting them. But she claims them whenever it's convenient. See, it's not about being convenient. It's not about being comfortable. The Patriots are there when it's not comfortable and when it's not convenient, because they're sacrificing their time to protect those who are not even grateful to even say thank you. Thank you for speaking up. Thank you for doing the right thing. Thank you for not forgetting about us. You know why we are not forgetting about you, regardless of how y'all act? The reason is because we love America, and we seeing everybody here in America go through the same bullshit that we are going through. What we are trying to do right now is get things back to where priorities should be at. Taking care of America first. And right now we have seen it fall short to the point it's causing the destruction of everything that America has ever built, including your ancestors who contributed to. That's why I was sick and disgusted at all of this anti-American rhetoric. Because if it wasn't for America, you ungrateful ones that are out there talking about, hey, I support these same people that hasn't done a damn thing for you. America is the reason why you are able to even talk like that. In other countries, you get killed for talking like that. See, you'll understand it more as you get older, because, see, we lived through this time period, black, white, Hispanic. If you are above 30 and more, you heard enough of the bullshit from the politicians. See, there's a time frame when you put that racial bullshit to the side and stop accusing people of racist and all this other stuff. What you'll find out, we are in this same fight together. You know why? Because race doesn't matter to those who only exploit it for convenience. What matters to them is dividing people up for them to be reelected, not for them to do what they are there to be elected for. When any political party feels the right to shut down America and shut down who you are and to cover you up and make sure you can't even show your face. You want to talk slavery? Then you go to Governor Northam's fucking door and you kick his fucking ass. Because that's exactly who put slavery here in modern America and those who think like him. President Trump, the whole time frame, was saying, open up. He knew the results. He knew that you could not go through this any longer, whether you like him or not. The fact is, he already knew the truth and he was already trying to spread it. That's why they censored him. Now, you stuck with no home, you stuck with no car, all your possessions is gone. This is the truth, people, so you got to deal with it. This is how you know the truth, especially if you're going through it. You send out an email or try to make a phone call if you can afford it. I'll give you my cell phone. And ask them, lawmakers, those who told you to defund the police, those who told you to stay at home, those who told you to mask up, those who told you to do whatever they wanted you to do, as long as you did it, you didn't get arrested during this time frame. Tell them all your problems. Don't give them a paragraph. Give them the full 100 pages, whatever out there. And when you get that response from them, let me know how it goes. And you know what you're going to hear back from them? Be patient. I'm sorry for your inconvenience. I want you to persevere while you are losing everything. After a while, the only thing you're going to have left, for those who don't believe, those who don't have faith, all you're going to have left is God. And you won't no longer worship these politicians. God bless you and God bless America.